Roger Gewolb is a close friend of Donald Trump. What sort of impact might this have on Mr. Trump just as a human being? Will he be traumatized? Will he go into his shell? How is the man that you know very well going to respond to this, what looks to be violent assault?
Well, I know him. I wouldn't say, he's my best friend, but I mean, absolutely not. I don't think that he will be cowed by this at all. If anything, it will stiffen his resolve.
Stiffen his resolve indeed. And you are an American. How will Americans watching this footage react to the sight of their former president bloodied and attacked on stage? Of course, horrible memories of JFK assassinated in the 1960s.
1962, yeah. I'm American. I'm also a Brit. And I think my fellow Americans will be absolutely horrified. I don't know if this will, there we go. You see, he's absolutely defiant. And quite rightly so. I don't think that it will heal the huge division in the states per se, but I think people will be really shocked, and I think that hopefully, I hope that some of the criticism from the Trump opponents will die down. And I hope that it's nothing more serious than a nicked ear, which it looks like, and he recovers. I think he'll be back in fighting form tomorrow, I would predict.
Unfortunately,
I just hope he beefs up his security even more.
Roger, there are people that wish ill on Donald Trump, aren't there, in the States?
For sure. Well, all over the world, sure.
Yeah. I mean, is there any way that a figure like that can be safe as long as they leave the house?
Yes, I think if they have proper protection, I mean, you'll notice that it doesn't look, Mark, as if there was any sort of Perspex shield in front of him here.
Yeah.
But he might have been shot from the side. It's hard to tell, but I don't see a shield up there of any kind. And the Pope rides around in a Perspex a motorbike or whatever it is. I think that's what you have to do when we have nutters out there. Or people filled with hate who are determined to kill somebody whose political views they disagree with.
Most definitely. And how might this impact the complexion of the presidential campaign?
I shouldn't think it will affect it all that much, but if it's going to affect it in any way, it's like every other brickbat thrown at Trump. It will just make him more popular. And I don't know where Biden will fit into all this and the demands that he resign because he's senile. But look at that man there, shaking his fist and showing his resolve. There's a huge world of difference between him and poor old Joe, who forgets where he is on camera. So I just think President Trump needs more protection and needs it fast. And if he's surrounded by Perspex and police and Secret Service from now on, I don't think that will be a bad thing at all.
I mean, it's clearly a devastating attack. It's an unedifying spectacle. It's really bad news for American democracy to see a former president attacked in that way. Hard to imagine that this attack wasn't politically motivated.
Oh, I mean, it has to be. I mean, because Trump is... he's basically saying, I'm going to save the world. There wouldn't have been a Ukraine. There wouldn't have been a Gaza, just like there wasn't a North Korean problem.
Yeah.
I'm going to make things right. And there are people who want to stop him, people of all kinds. Biden has enemies. I mean, anybody at that level of office is going to have enemies, obviously. And, thank goodness this individual was a bad shot.
Most definitely. And now listen, what about the media? Do you think the media will change the tone by which they report Donald Trump's campaign? Because there's a large chunk of US media that can't stand the guy.
It's a very good question. I hope so. I hope they're a little gentler with him. But American politics is very rough. I mean, it makes our politics here like, fighting in the playground at recess.
Yeah.
So there's no holds barred. I don't know if they'll really ease off, and there'll probably be some real, I don't want to use, some people call them, sort of gutter journalists. There's some real low down media people that will, say things like, see, That's what he gets for being like, I mean, all sorts of stuff will come out. But I think the bottom line will be not much will change. I think just everybody, even those who don't like Trump, for the sake of democracy and free speech, should thank God that he's all right and that it didn't turn into a Kennedy disaster, which was just terrible.